Matchbox, Surya, Litro Gas, Gal.
Where was your head at when you came up with the name Jayaflava for the book?
It took me 8 years to write this book and then another 2 years to film the show. We made a commitment to each other that we would tell the story of Sri Lanka only through the lens of a Sri Lankan eye.
If we don't take control of our own narrative, somebody else always will.
When I used to work in advertising in England, people used to say, Tasha, there's only 2 things you talk about. It's food and Sri Lanka. I'm like, yeah, but those 2 things are brilliant. Why is it when you go down south, you eat pasta on the beach and not Sri Lankan food? Our food is extraordinary.
I heard there's a specific rice cooked with a flour called a clitoris flour. You ever seen that one?
Clitoris flour.
What?
What? There are some really amazing chefs doing really incredible things here. In England, some white guys, hey, I make oxtail. I'm like, sorry, brown and black communities have been doing this for centuries. I think one of the most annoying things I'm seeing online now is a lot of like foreign tourists going, this is Bali 2.0. This is Sri Lanka. 3 different restaurants refused to serve him. I remember reading that article and being, hold your tongue.
Call yourself an achcharu.
No, I'm a mix of everything. I'm going to say something really controversial. Is this actually rolling?
Tasha Marikkar, welcome to the podcast. Where was your head at when you came up with the name Jayaflava for the book?
You know, that's so jokes because he gave me the quote for the back of the book.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So wait, so just for the audience to know, like who helped you come up with it?
Is this actually rolling? Are we actually in the midst of this conversation?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
The reason I love podcasts is because it's not like the TV stuff that we're used to, right? Like it's like, okay, they're calling the action. It's like, we're ready to go and you're live. And like, I love podcasts because we can just be free and just talk.
Whatever. I'm losing my podcast virginity. This is my first one, and you can clearly see how unprofessional I am.
You are the most professional person I've ever. You keep it light. You're fun to work with.
Oh, thanks,
a lot of people
guys.
like have the same feedback. Like, oh, Tasha, vibrant, fun, great person to work with, because you treat work not as work. Like you actually have fun with it, even when you're stressed out.
Yeah, but you haven't, like, sometimes there's moments when I was filming my show where I got mad and I would get really, really silent and it would scare the entire crew because I'd just be like,
ooh.
Because I don't verbalize my anger. I just keep it in and I just get quiet. And everyone's like, that's quite scary.
Yeah.
She's usually like this.
Yeah. How did you identify that was like your thing? Like you internalize your anger?
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, I totally do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I don't like confrontation as a person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more confrontational as a person because, keeping anger in is bad for your health.
Really bad, yeah.
Yeah, and so now I've learned to like verbalize, but sometimes I just like, I give myself a day before I verbalize my anger. So it's said diplomatically rather than like, fuck you stupid bitch.
That could be a form of therapy in itself. Just like speaking. I feel like you're a person that speaks your mind in many ways, though. Like you
am
do.
Verbal, but when I get angry, I like I'll tell you what. Like last night, did you see that thing with Harry Pereira?
Yes, I saw that. Right. Okay, so just for context, Harry Pereira, influencer, goes out to a restaurant and then he's trying to get, eat at the restaurant, which is what you should do at a restaurant. He's Sri Lankan by birth. Goes into the restaurant. The guy says, no, we can't serve you. We only serve foreigners.
Yeah.
Right?
And he was like, what the heck? Right. And just for context, I messaged Harry about it. Sorry.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
Just for context, I messaged
That's
Harry.
her anger speaking.
Sorry. Just for context, I messaged Harry yesterday and I was like, this is not on. And obviously, he then sent me a message and he said, just to give you context, that was the 3rd time he was refused. 3 different restaurants refused to serve him because he was Sri Lankan.
So was this in the South?
It's in Tangalle.
Okay.
Right? And overnight, the son of the guy messaged him and said, can you pull down this thing? And he said, no, I asked your father multiple times. And, you know, basically the guy he was like, film me, put it online, I don't care. So that's why he's laughing throughout that video.
Right.
And and I was just sitting there going, that's like abhorrent.
Yeah.
Right. And then on top of that, overnight, because the place was called, it was called like Tango or something, like it had a different name. Overnight, he changed the name. The son changed the name of the business on Google to Momo's Tango, just to try and avoid
Backlash.
backlash. And I'm like, you know, a simple apology,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If they had come out and said, okay, we had made a mistake, we are going to change the way we act towards Sri Lankans moving forward.
Yeah.
But instead, their reaction was to try and force him to pull down the video and then change the name of the restaurant so that they avoid negative reviews. Why can't you just apologize?
Yeah.
Why can't you just take ownership of a mistake you've made and then just go on? And so these are the things that get my blood boiling.
Yeah.
And last night I came back and was like, to my mother.
Why do you think that is, though? In the like specifically, I've seen more of this in the South than anywhere else when it comes to, you know, Sri Lankans against Sri Lankans in some way, or brown people. Why do you think that is, that they have this foreigners only policy rather than serving their own people?
It's a deep-seated colonization of the mind, right? Like, why is it that we all think that fair people are beautiful and dark people are not? This is all post-colonial mentality, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, unless we address it as a nation and we start being proud, this is kind of the reason I did this as well. And I'll, you know, go into it in more detail. But at the end of the day, if we don't start being proud of who we are and who we are as a people and what we've achieved as a nation and our history and our heritage, and if we're always looking to the West for some sort of like, oh, that's what the standard is, it's not. We dictate our own standards.
Absolutely.
And then at the end of the day, when people think that because you're white, you're better than a Sri Lankan person, that's why this is going to continue. And actually, we need to address this from like a cultural point of view. How are we going to make ourselves more proud? Why is it when you go down south, you eat pasta on the beach and not Sri Lankan food?
Yeah.
Right? The closest you get to this stuff is a roti on the beach, but it's a banana and chocolate roti or, you know, a cheese roti. No. Our
Made
food
for
is,
their palate.
Yeah, our food is extraordinary. It's layered. It's extremely complex. Like, be proud of it. Sell it, you know? That's even if that's one of the major things we have is that, like, people think curry. People don't want to eat curry, you know? And I think that a lot of that has to do with how we viewed ourselves and how colonizers made us view ourselves. You know?
You hear about the thing about Rob, the DJ Rob that opened Tiffin's in the South as well. Rob is Tamil, was born here in Sri Lanka, grew up in, I think he lived in the UK for a while and then kind of moved back with his partner and they started a dosa business.
Cute.
Super, super awesome.
Yeah.
But he faced backlash locally as well because he was Sri Lankan or because he was Tamil. They didn't, a small, very small group in the South, I would say, didn't appreciate that he was there doing business. And so they were making kind of racist remarks, kind of threatening his shop. And then eventually he was like, guys, I'm done. And he puts out a social media posting, I'm done. I can't do this. Like, I came back here. This is my home. But he's starting up again, which is a good sign.
That's great.
Yep, starting up again here, which is good. But it's things like that kind of demotivates. And like, how do you stand with the country when we haven't like addressed a lot of these issues? And then we're also trying to get people to come back and say, hey, yeah, it is change. It is changing. But then you see cases like this and that doesn't really help our narrative, does it?
No, and I think like one of the things that when I was researching my book, I started to kind of go down a rabbit hole of I haven't read the Mahavansa like that, but I've read interpretations of that book. And I started reading all about it and I was just thinking, gosh, I don't think I was taught that in school. Right? And about like the 5 tribes that originally lived in the island and then the fact that these Bengali kings came and they started mixing, with the tribes, and then that's how the Sinhalese race was derived.
Yeah.
I think it's the Yakas, right? And the Bengalis. But I think, understanding our history and where that came from, you really start to realize how multicultural it was even in the beginning.
Yes. So good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also why we have everything we have today, what we essentially call and deem Sri Lankan food, sambals and, meat curries and all these. This is a product of years of migration and trade and different communities coming here and settling. That's what makes Sri Lanka amazing. It's a melting pot of so many different ethnicities and races, and they've all contributed to making this island incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that's the narrative we need to push more and more, so that we start to overtake this thing that, there's division. It's so incredibly upsetting to hear that Rob had that issue, because at the end of the day, he's coming back and he's trying to contribute. He's trying to make Sri Lanka better,
Absolutely.
And he's trying to own his ethnic narrative, and he's trying to share it with the world. And when people come down on stuff like that, I'm like, bro, don't you have better things to do with your time? Kind of we should be uplifting each other, not trying to drag each other down.
Absolutely. Have you ever tried to trace back where you come from?
Oh, I'm a mix of everything. You can blame my everyone on my maternal side of my family.
Oh, why?
Because they all ran away and got married. So my grandfather and my grandmother eloped. So my grandfather was part Chetty, part Tamil, part Sinhalese.
Yeah.
And then he eloped with my grandmother. She was Sinhalese.
Yeah.
And then my mother and my father eloped. And my father is still on more Muslim. And my mom's that whole mix.
Yeah.
And so now you have this mongrel in front of you. A mixture of everything.
Yeah. You call yourself an achcharu.
I do. I call myself an achcharu, and it's a mixture of everything. And I think that's been one of the greatest things about growing up here, is that I know there was a lot of division, and there are still lots of social problems and ethnic problems and stuff like that. I'm not going to gloss over that stuff and say, everything's magically solved. It's not. But one of the things I definitely, growing up with having such a multicultural background and going to an international school here, I didn't really feel those divisions, because I was taught to celebrate every different part of my ethnic heritage.
Yeah.
So Ramadan was as widely celebrated as Christmas, and
Beautiful.
it was really fun, because I was always like, I have so much cool stuff to look forward to,
Oh my God, yeah. Eventful friggin' house.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was amazing. And, just for context, my sister also just eloped and married a burger guy. So now we've got it all. We are everything. Now everything is represented in my house now. So
This since you brought up burger, because the most popular thing for burgers is the Lamprais, right?
yes.
Is there anything else that you found that is a burger thing?
I'm going to say something really controversial.
Okay, what is it?
The Lamprais isn't really a burger thing. It's an Indonesian thing that they took from the Indonesians and now call it burger. It's called a Lampor, and they changed it into a Lamprais.
No. Yes. The Dutch.
Colonizers. Apologize.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Its origin is a Lampor,
Yeah.
and then I guess the Dutch put in the pork, and the beef, and then the ham. But it's if you research it, it's an Indonesian Lampor. It's wrapped in a banana leaf, steamed. And then the Dutch, obviously, the Dutch community. And here's the other thing. I had the pleasure of meeting Ambassador Bonnie when she used to be the Dutch ambassador here. And she was a historian by degree. And she really opened my eyes as to what a Dutch. I think people are going to come at you in these comments.
I love it. This is what we're all about. Talk about some controversial shit.
So she told me, she was like, there aren't really any Dutch burgers anymore, right? And she was like, let's talk about the Dutch East India Company, because basically the Dutch East India Company, in the time of the Dutch East India Company, I think it's like 1700s, 1800s, there were a lot of people like fleeing persecution in Europe. So, you know, a lot of Jews from Russia, like lots of different kinds of people were fleeing persecution. And they'd wind up in the Netherlands because it was a free state, and they came in.
Okay.
And because they couldn't really become citizens, right, they then joined the Dutch East India Companies. And they're the ones who got on the ships, and they're the ones who came here and settled and married into local communities, making this Eurasian, like, burger community. And burger is I think the Dutch word for citizen. Like, so that's why it's Dutch burger, and you know, that's what the word burger is.
So cool.
And so essentially, like, it's interesting because I think a lot of people claim to be like Dutch burger or Portuguese burger, but actually, are you Dutch? I don't think so. I think they're like 3 Dutch names, like Vanderbilt and like
Van Dort.
Van Dort, Vanderbilt. Van Heusen? No, I don't know.
There's the word van in it.
He's got van.
Yeah, he's got van.
And there's like just certain things. My sister's married to a Martinstein, and I thought I went
Stein.
Martinstein.
Yeah.
And I asked Bonnie about that, and she was like, "Oh, that's definitely Dutch." And then I checked with my sister, and she was like, "No, he's Austrian. No, he's like that's his lineage. It's German Austrian or something like that." And I was like, "Okay," because it is actually a really small. It's really funny because like Pereira or Fernando's, that's not burger.
Yeah,
you know, like not Dutch burger.
Yeah,
it's burger.
Yeah,
I'm not taking away from that, but I'm just saying it's not like Dutch burger.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think it's also like the Dutch Burger Union and how you have to be Dutch burger to get in is quite an interesting.
Is it still the same thing that you have to be a Dutch?
I think they're a little bit more lax now. I think you can't just be a burger. My sister's in it by proxy because her husband is Dutch burger, so she's like, "I've got my Dutch burger card. Look at that." I was like, "All right, girl. I see you. Can we please get the cheap gin?"
Classic, dude.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me sometimes to even think about tracing back our lineage because, like you said, we're it's a melting pot, right? So it's very hard to, I mean, some of it, you look at any Sri Lankan, one Sri Lankan is going to look so different, vastly different to the other. Because like eyebrows, facial features, you're like it's hard. Personally, for me, it's hard to tell if you're, you know, where you come from, what you are, because now it's just like blended together. And now it's just like this perfect brown specimens that we call Sri Lankans. I said that. That's right.
It's true.
It's so true.
Look at this. Look at this mug.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at this. Sorry. Totally getting off topic. Yes, let's have a really serious conversation.
I love it. But no, so your book.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the book.
I did write a book.
So Jayaflava.
Thick.
I love that you have like the Surya matches in there.
Oh, I know.
Hilarious.
This was such a massive stress trying to get a cover of a book.
Yeah.
We had such ugly covers for a long time.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to try. I'm going to put my hand at it. So I painted this on a canvas.
No.
Yeah. And then we gave it to someone to digitally put onto.
Dude,
like,
do you have the original painting of this?
Yeah, somewhere in the house there.
Oh my God, you should frame that. Jeez. This is phenomenal, dude.
I was just so, like, you know, my favorite part of that? The heliconia, but it's also the gas canister.
Oh, I just noticed that. Litro. That's hilarious. Dude, so good.
And then the fish can, you know, tin fish for island where we have fresh fish every day.
Yeah.
Our obsession with tin fish is weird.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Why do we have an obsession with tin fish?
I know, and that fish gets like fished here, goes to China, gets canned and it's brought back here and everyone's like, tin fish, you know? It's weird.
Why?
It actually does taste good. I'm not going to like
is it because of like the oil that it's like put in with?
I think it's preservation, isn't it? You know, where people don't have refrigeration, it's a good way to keep fish. But if you look at the cover, I've named fish can, my brand.
I love that. Am I about to see a Tasha's Jack Mackerel brand come out at some point in the future?
Absolutely.
I mean, with the success of this book has done phenomenally well.
Oh, thanks.
And it's a great representation of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And you just started filming a series.
I finished filming a
You
series.
did? Wow,
It's
you were
coming
fast.
out. It's coming out on the 20th.
And where are we going to see that?
Nat Geo.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
Heck
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Nat Geo Asia.
Nice.
So it's India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Bangladesh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's a massive one. When does it launch again? What's the
20th of February, Friday.
Dude, that's like literally like...
Yeah,
well, by
you should come to the launch.
Oh my God, I would love to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Will we get to taste some of Tasha's recipes or food in there at the launch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to basically premiere the first 2 episodes, I think.
Amazing. Okay.
And so the series is 6 episodes.
Yep.
It goes around the country, we go Jaffna, Maadampe, Puttalam, Gangavadia, kind of off-beaten places like that. And then not that Jaffna's off-beaten, I mean like Puttalam and Gangavadia and stuff like Maadampe. It's a bit weird. And then we go to like the more traditional places like Gaul, Bentota, and Kiriketia, and Yala and stuff. But a big push on this show is because I'm a Colombo girl. Just snap my bra.
I heard that. Hopefully you just add an extra sound effect for the trailer, just like snap.
We went, I really bigged up Colombo.
Yeah.
Because I think Colombo gets a bad rep, and
Yes.
I think Colombo is an incredible city, and it's like a melting pot.
Yes.
You want to talk about melting pot and how like the Sri Lankan identity is so mixed? Come to Colombo, you will see it there, and you get everything here. So I was really keen to do. I did 2 episodes in Colombo because I was like,
Let's go.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
There's like old school Colombo, there's new school Colombo,
Yes.
and I think that was one of my biggest things is like, I want people to come and visit Colombo because it's actually a vibe. It's a big vibe.
I love that. I agree with you. I like how Yasas Hebege, the guy that's doing some of the Ironman sports destination stuff for the city, he calls us this garden city, right? Like there's so many pockets in Colombo itself that you think you know it, but you don't. Like Dehivilla is a complete different world to me compared to Colombo 3.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Completely different. Like everything's super diverse.
Yeah.
Go to like Halstoff, like Alutkade and stuff, and that's completely different to like Colombo 5, where I live, which is super residential. Like it's so different, it's so varied, and then suddenly you have like all these new developments coming up right next to like Slave Island, and there's like such a juxtaposition in the city. So I think it's a really interesting place to visit, and like there's so many artists, there's so much cool stuff happening here, like Columboscope or Kala.
Yeah, Kala Pula just happened.
Kala Pula just happened. Like there's like loads of stuff to come and see, and there are great restaurants. People forget.
Yeah.
There are some really amazing chefs doing really incredible things here. Even like, my favorite thing to do is in, Maradana and Buhari.
Yes, Buhari,
The masala roast chicken, man.
Bro.
I just go there and I eat that chicken by myself.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, that's a disgusting habit. I'm like, no one needs to know my secret eating ritual of eating a whole chicken by myself.
If you need to spot Tasha in public, head to Buhari in Maradana. Get yourself a biryani at the same time.
There's a recipe in here called the Buhari-inspired roast chicken because I love it so much.
Dude.
It's so good.
From your travels, what really stood out to you? I know you're well-versed with like food in general from Sri Lanka, but what stood out to you that you didn't really expect to be like, oh, holy shit, this is something I didn't really see coming from Sri Lanka? Or any recipes that kind of stood out that you were like, damn.
I think when I was in Jaffna, it felt like it was my first time, which is probably pretty bad on my behalf. Never
Terrible.
It's bad. It's bad. Come learn about Sri Lanka with Tasha, who's never been to a lot of the places she's talking about.
I love it.
But when I went to Jaffna, I was kind of like, whoa. this is its own thing. Like, they are extremely creative and cool, and they have their own vibe and their own aesthetic. And I was just blown away by that. And the food is incredible. I got the chance. I went during Thai Pongal.
Yeah.
And oh my God, people were like celebrating. The food was on fire. It's just like everything is amazing here. And I kind of went away from that because they have like also amazing like arts and crafts and like cool clothes, cool bags. I was just like, this is, I didn't even know. And I came out of that thinking, wow, that's really cool. And then I think in Puttalam, my family's from Puttalam, and I've gone there a lot as a child.
Right.
And I have like a side of my family that they're just a little bit quirky and weird, which I quite like. And they just love Puttalam, and they showed me all these crazy regional dishes, like catfish. Like, you know, everyone knows a catfish curry, but they take the roe and they make an omelet from the roe.
Really?
Yeah. And then the stingray curry.
Oh my God.
And they do like a goat spine.
Yeah.
They push out the marrow in the spine and they make a curry from it. I've never eaten anything like that before. It's incredible. Like, I was just like, people don't know these recipes and they will get lost if we don't continue them. They also do this like fish curry where they take 3 or 4 different types of lagoon fish and they cook it together. And it's amazing.
Cook it together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like there's like lots of things like, and like they make, I know this might be like not everyone's favorite, but they make a phenomenal brain curry.
Nice. Yeah.
And I love brain curry.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is delicious.
Yeah.
And they do like roe and like, it's just, they even, you know, morunga?
Yeah.
Like the drumstick curry?
Like the drumsticks.
They do it in a completely different way. They deep fry it and then they curry it. And it's just like, chef's kiss.
That's awesome. I love that you mentioned the goat spine because like nose to tail is part of our culture. It's just like you don't see it now because like wasting, they try to utilize all parts of the animal as best as they can. Right? Because that's like kind of also honoring the animal that's sacrificing itself for you to like have a meal. And I feel like that started with that whole, you know, hunting mentality, like the Vadas would utilize every single part of the animal.
100%. And I think that also comes from like not being wasteful, right? And being as sustainable as possible. Because like when we were children, like babat, you know, eating the tripe and eating all of these things. And I think one of my biggest gripes at the moment, and I'm going to tell you my gripe, is that in England, they're like, nose to tail eating is back. And why? Because some white guy's like, hey, I make oxtail, or like, oh, we eat tripe. And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Brown and black communities have been doing this for centuries, and even Southeast Asian communities.
Yeah.
You don't get to make it sound cool because suddenly unfortunately, Caucasian has discovered it and is like got a cool restaurant in the middle of London, and it's like, wow. I remember reading that article and being like, oh. And I was just like, hold your tongue. You know, and I just think it's just one of those things, you know, we've always respected an animal and we've eaten every part of it. And I think that we need to continue to do that. Otherwise, it's wasteful.
Yeah. You have this thing called an Auntie Network in Sri Lanka, and you're now part of the Auntie Network.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'll just give you some context. It took me 8 years to write this book, and then another 2 years to film the show. So it's been about a 10-year process, and now I think I fully have reached my auntie status.
How do you know you're in this famous Auntie Network in Sri Lanka?
I'm definitely not in the famous Auntie Network. There are some pretty famous aunties. Like, I would not want to like legitimately say I'm at that level, you know. But I think just certain things where I'm like, oh, do I want to go out on a Friday night? Just want to sleep in. Yeah, I want to sleep in. Auntie.
That's an auntie thing.
That's an auntie thing.
But also the Auntie Network is known for like actually having like hold of these verbal histories of stories of our culture and stuff, right? So do you get a lot of that?
Let me tell you about Sri Lankan aunties. Okay. When I was writing this book, I was like, hey, can I come like learn this recipe from you?
Yeah.
Can I come do this with you? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, obviously I'll credit you. Like I wouldn't like take ownership of anything without like, when you're doing that. That's really important not to steal.
Yeah.
Right? And you go and you sit and you watch these aunties and they do things really quickly. So you can't pick up the whole recipe, right? And you're like, so I had to learn to become like an eagle-eye detective whilst watching them cook.
Summary.
Because they would be like, and I was like, what did you just do?
Yeah.
No, darling, just put small, put that in there, just put it and then it mixed it. I was like, put what? I put, that in the thali. You saw, no? I put it. And you're like, okay. And aunties, right? I have had some major betrayals. Like, you will see in the show. I'm going to tell you, episode 5, watch it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. When I talk about aunties not telling you the truth.
Yeah.
They are like, it's just like a thing with aunties. They're like, this is mine.
Yeah.
And yes, I want to show you, darling, but I don't want to show you the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because then when somebody else gets the recipe, you're not going to be invited for that famous vatalapang. Like, oh, Auntie so-and-so is coming, so she comes with the vatalapang that I like. Is that why that you think they hold on to it?
It's an interesting thing you said, vatalapang. I'm not going to talk more about that. But I think it is definitely...
Why, what's wrong with vatalapang?
Episode 5.
Oh, it gets deeper. I love it.
But I think I think it's more that if you take it and you perfect it more than they have,
yes,
then suddenly yours is better. And I think it's about protection of they are the best at what they do. And I totally get that. And I think whatever said and done, the word atkunai. Like when you cook with, like when you feed with the hand or you cook with the hand, the goodness of that, like I don't know, it's like, how do you explain it? Someone help me out here. In the room. How do you like translate that?
Is it because like, when you make something with your own hands, your energy, your energy's passed on into the food?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes when you make something from your hand, because you're maybe a little bit talented with cooking, it's just better.
Oh, I
right?
get you. Yep.
And so that I think there's a lot with like chefs here, there are chefs with atkunai and they just make this, like they make the food they make is incredibly tasty.
Yeah.
And I think that aunties tend to forget that they have that magic power and whatever I make will never be the same as what you make because yours is going to be uniquely yours.
Yes.
And mine will be a version of yours, but it might not necessarily be better or worse. Yeah. It's just different.
Yes.
And I think aunties just want to protect their status, their OG status of like, I'm the best crab curry maker. Or, like everyone has their own twist, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard there's a specific rice called that's cooked with a flour called a clitoris flour. You ever seen that one?
No.
I was surprised. I went to an auntie's house. Well, she's kind of an
clitoris flour.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's like a legitimate thing.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she was like, "There's the clitoris. It is jasmine rice with clitoris flour." I was like, "Oh." I swallowed my food.
Are you sure that it was clitoris flour? Or do you think she meant to say some sort of other genus word and it came out as clitoris?
Nah. I looked it up. Right. I was like, I had to swallow my food. I was like, I took a moment. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I.
Well, good thing you swallowed.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, Tasha, I missed you. This is great.
My mom's gonna get like so mad.
Your mom's gonna be so. She's like, Tasha, what the bloody hell?
Tasha, I told you to like be normal. I don't know how.
Yeah, I looked it up, and then it's an actual flower
Clitoris
that's
flower.
named after. Yes,
Guys, it's almost Valentine's Day. If you really want to spoil your girl, get her a bunch of clitoris flowers.
I saw this and it reminded me of you. Just- all right,
Sorry.
we're done. We're done. We're sorry. The producers just like,
Innuendo hour over. Double entendre finished.
done. That's like going to be the last one. Yeah. We're not gonna ever do
that again.
any
Sorry.
more of that. So HarperCollins published.
On to more serious things.
Yes.
Collins. Yes.
So publish this, and it's a really beautiful coffee table book. I mean, from the cover itself, I mean, there's a lot of. I love that you chose to go with color because I think that represents our culture.
Yes.
A lot better. I mean, minimal is nice and stuff like that, but this is. I looked at this and I was like, I need to have this in my house too.
Oh, thanks.
But what are you most excited about the series? Like, what do you feel like this is going to change in terms of our narrative to the world as Sri Lanka presenting itself to the world?
Yeah, I think, the thing I think that's really exciting about the series was my business partner and I, have you met my business partner, Afdal?
I have not, no.
Oh, Afdal Aziz. He's based in LA. He's very cool. He really helped me bring the show to life.
Nice.
And we made a commitment to each other that we would tell the story of Sri Lanka only through the lens of a Sri Lankan eye, a POV of a point of view from Sri Lanka, right? Yeah. And everything we did, including the crew, everyone's Sri Lankan.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And everyone, even Hasi, who is the director of photography, his dad is an influencer called Kamal Uncle.
Okay.
And he's amazing. His dad is he lives in Kandy, he goes into the jungles and he just makes food in the jungles.
Amazing.
Kamal Uncle is in one of the episodes, right? And we're in the jungles in Puttalam together, and we're doing a Sinhalese version of a Lamprais. Yeah. Right? In an arecanut leaf. And it's amazing.
I love that.
And so what was really amazing about bringing all these Sri Lankans together was that we were able to kind of get a really unique perspective. And I think what I feel is really special about this whole series is that it's a story of Sri Lanka authentically told by Sri Lankans, and it's a modern version.
Yes.
It's what is Sri Lankan cool. This is the new Sri Lankan cool.
Yes.
And we're telling that story. Every other series that has been produced about Sri Lanka is from maybe a diaspora point of view. Yeah. And that is a really important story to tell, Peter coming back here and doing you remember?
Peter Corrida?
Yeah, he did that series, Serendipitous.
Yes, beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. But it's definitely his journey back here.
Yes, rediscovering.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of BBC productions and ABC productions where they bring white male chefs to come and explore the country. And they see it from it's not from the viewpoint that we'd all have in this room. You know, our Sri Lanka is different to an outsider coming in and trying to view it for the first time. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of this series, is that we're telling this story about Sri Lankans, for Sri Lankans, and for the world. And I think that's kind of where we built it on. Yeah.
And what better way than to showcase it through food, something that we all love about Sri Lanka. Do you how would you rate your pole sambal?
Oh.
I know a person that claims that he makes the best pole sambal, and I've tried. Well, I don't think I've ever tried it. He says it's the best.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, pole sambal is 5 ingredients. So if you mess it up, I'm sorry for you, son, but I generally think that it's really easy to make a really tasty pole sambal. And I wouldn't say that I rate mine better than anyone else's, but it's yum. Yeah. I make a pole sambal butter, which is...
That's new.
Yeah, that's pretty yum.
What the heck? Yeah. What the helly?
I make a pole sambal butter and I put that on bread and it is tasty. Yeah, it's really tasty.
Oh my God. Are we going to taste some of that at the lunch?
I did it for my book launch, actually. Yeah. Everyone was like, what is this? I was like, this is something I make. So when I do what you call a croque machang. like a croque monsieur, like where you have the bechamel and so I do one where I take this is fusion, by the way. This
Yes.
is in no way authentic.
Yeah.
I make a pole sambal butter and I layer that with some like ham, and then I put a spicy chili white bechamel sauce and then a fried egg, and then top it with pole sambal, and I call that a croque machan.
I love that.
Yeah, it's yum though. It's real yum.
I love that. So to kind of bring it all together, you started off in advertising. Are you still in advertising, or have you left it completely?
I don't think you ever leave advertising.
Ooh.
I mean, look at this. Is
So
this
it's such
not a branded front cover? It's like Matchbox, Surya, Litro Gas, Gull.
It's so good.
You don't leave it. Unlike my family business is advertising, right?
Yeah.
And my mother has been running like I think one of the largest integrated communications agencies and now the business is 68 years old, and I think I will never leave advertising. I love advertising, but I have sidestepped out of it because now I want to like pursue this career about like celebrating Sri Lanka, essentially.
Nice.
Yeah. I love this country, and I think when I used to work in advertising in England, people used to say, Tasha, there's only two things you talk about, and it's really boring. It's food and Sri Lanka. I'm like, yeah, but those two things are brilliant. Like, they're so good.
Yeah.
You should come and experience
It's exciting to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because if we don't take control of our own narrative, somebody else always will. And they have.
Yes, they
right?
have. Yeah.
And this is us kind of reclaiming our story and our place in the world.
100%. I think one of the most annoying things I'm seeing online now is a lot of like foreign tourists going, this is Bali 2.0. No, bitch. No.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yes.
This is Sri Lanka.
Absolutely.
There is no Bali here. We are a culture on our own.
Yeah.
We have a huge history. It like dates back to 3rd century BC. I think there's some coins from the 3rd century BC or something. I remember reading that. I don't know. But it's long. And we are our own people, our own identity. And all these tourists going, oh yeah, look what you can eat for under $3 a day. I'm like, come off of it.
Yep. I agree with that. Like, Sri Lanka is it's a quality place,
it's a
right?
Quality place.
And there's so much of experiences that I think we just need to reposition how we see ourselves. That's first. Like, even like tea industry is a great example. Like, we're quality tea, but there's a pressure outside of Sri Lanka for us to bring that pack of tea rate down. And so now we're getting into this game of like numbers and quantity as well. And so it's kind of difficult for us to maybe we shouldn't talk about tea, should we?
No, it's okay. We can.
Yeah.
We can. I mean, I also used to work for the tea board.
Yes.
So I have a lot of information
So I was
on
gonna
tea. But
Yeah.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Why, like luxury brands, everyone aspires to luxury brands, right? And at the end of the day, luxury brands are just added value to like a raw product. And I think, why aren't we positioning our country as more aspirational?
Absolutely.
Maldives, everyone wants to go there, but it's bloody expensive.
Maldives was in the Epstein files. So was Sri Lanka.
See? Luxury. Epstein files luxury. That's the pinnacle, you know? I'm just saying.
Your mom is really going to love this.
She's going to kill you. She's going to kill me. She's going to be, I'm not going to let you go to these interviews unvetted. Someone's going to be like, roll it back.
Oh my God. So good.
No, but I'm like, what I'm saying is, why aren't we like, if the more we treat our product with care and respect, our country with care and respect, and we try to uplift everyone, and there is a good, like, from tourism, with tourism, there's a massive economic opportunity cost, right? For everyone who comes here and spends under $10 a day, think about the wasted water, the amount of garbage, the impact that has on our environment. We should be trying to attract people who pay a little bit more. You have to have like a good balance of, every class that can get here. And I think right now we're attracting like a lot of bodies,
Yeah.
but not as much revenue. Because if you look
Absolutely.
at all of the reports, is that we're having more tourists than ever, but actually revenues have fallen.
Absolutely.
And that's where are we going wrong? That's part of the reason we're doing the show. It's like,
Yeah.
no, reposition it.
Absolutely.
We need to get like tourists who spend money,
Yes.
and they inject it into the local economy so people can uplift themselves as
Yes.
well,
that value these experiences in Sri Lanka as well. A couple of the campaigns that we saw was, bringing down, a DJ from Europe to play in front of Sigiriya. And I'm like, that's your campaign? That drove me mad, bro.
That one was like, what?
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 It's just like that. I mean, my brain just froze there for a second. I was like, damn, like we really need the help. And that's why I value what you do, Tasha, is that you're putting independently doing this at the start. Like you just chose to do something and you were like, this is how I'm going to reposition Sri Lanka with what I can control. And now that's obviously this book in itself and the series that's coming out on Nat Geo in itself is kind of doing the work that the organizations are supposed to be doing. But I also think we're creating a reference point for them to look at and be like, okay, Tasha Marikkar, boom. Here's this other person that's doing it, boom. And so then I feel like it's just going to catch on for them to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe we should actually relook at how we position the country. Because if we don't do it, nobody else will.
Yeah. And I think what I would say is, I'm doing it, but I think more of us should do it.
Absolutely.
I know Shanella does a great job on YouTube.
Yes.
I think that actually the more of us that kind of try to take our version of our country out to the world and project it's better. It's not competition, it's collaboration. The more we work together, the more we can uplift everyone together,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's an important message.
Absolutely. Congratulations again on getting published by HarperCollins India, and then getting on Nat Geo Asia is just phenomenal and huge, and we're excited about the launch.
Thanks. Yeah, you're coming.
Yes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Am I invited or am I your
100%.
plus one?
We just
or
did
what?
this.
Thank you for being on the podcast. And I'm very excited for the future of Sri Lanka in general, for people like you putting in the time.
And people like you, by the way.
Don't
forget that.
Yes.
You put Sri Lanka on the map, and that's really important to remember.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.